Mario in the hole in the sky. How a chemist saved our planet. Illustrated by Teresa Martinez Elizabeth Rich. What do you think the book will be about just by looking at the cover? Mario Molina was born in Mexico City on March 19, 1943. By the time he was 6, the world was awash in amazing new products made from amazing new chemicals. Spray, spray, Mario's mother misted perfume onto her wrist. Squirt, squirt, someone polished a window. Spurt, spurt, a press of a button propelled cleaner onto a counter. Paint onto a fence, and hairspray onto girls. But one of the new chemicals used in millions of sprays, cans, and refrigerators had a dangerous side that no one had yet discovered. Feliz cumpleaños, Mario. On Mario's 8th birthday, his parents gave him a microscope. Mario peered through the lens at a drop of water. Boring, he thought. Then he had begun to wonder what would happen if he looked at dirty water. Imagine getting a telescope for your birthday. I would want one, wouldn't you? Mario soaked some lettuce and let it rot. After a few days, the gooey brownish-green mess swelled awful. Mario plugged his nose, sucked up a dropper of the filthy water, and dripped it onto a slide. He peered through the lens and gasped. Incredible! All these amazing creatures in just one drop of water. Mario studied everything he could under the microscope. Sparkling salt crystals, tomatoes, onions, chilies from salsa, even toothpaste. Mario was itching to see more. Can I use this bathroom as a laboratory? He asked his parents. No one ever uses it. Dios mío, his mother groaned. Sounds messy. But they removed the toilet for him and installed some shelves. Don't blow anything up, his father warned. Clink, clink, hiss, whoosh. Bitter-smelling smoke wafted out from under the door of Mario's bathroom lab. What are you up to, Mario? Asked his Aunt Easter, who was a chemist. Look at this, Tia. He showed her what scorched detergent looked like on a slide. She smiled and said, I think you need a few more things. She brought him a Bunsen burner and chemicals not found in a kid's chemistry set. Mario carefully mixed potions in his bathroom lab. Miraculously, substance changed from black to yellow, from water-soluble to waterproof. He conducted more experiments with a chemistry teacher in boarding school in Switzerland. He burned chemicals over the flames of Bunsen burners. Sparks flashed purple, pink, crimson, red, and green, blue like fireworks. Have you ever done a science experiment like this before? To Mario, chemistry had a mysterious power, a power that was changed in the world around him. Stores were full of new and improved products, featuring remarkable new ingredients that promised to be cheaper, better, and easier. But Mario knew that even chemicals that seemed harmless could react with things in the environment and become dangerous. As Mario continued his study of chemistry, a question nagged at him. Were these new chemicals really safe? Soon after getting his PhD and beginning work in the United States, Mario heard something that started him on a quest to find out. A scientist studying air samples found tiny amounts of chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, floating around in the air. Mario knew CFCs were used in refrigerators, air conducts, installations, and fast food containers, and as a propellant in millions of spray cans, he and his colleague F. Sherwood Rowland wondered, once CFCs were sprayed into the air or leaked out of the dump, what happened to them? Mario and Sherry set up a bunch of experiments to find out. They mixed CFC with water. Most chemical compounds dissolve in rain, but the CFCs didn't dissolve. They shone lights on CFC. Some chemical compounds break down when the light shines down on them, but the CFCs didn't break down. They set up a contraption to mimic the Earth's lower atmosphere, where any surviving chemical compounds usually decompose. But what the CFCs endured. In the atmosphere, a layer of ozone surrounds our planet. Like a powerful sunscreen, the ozone layer filters out deadly solar radiation known as ultraviolet light. What would happen if CFCs reached the ozone layer? Mario asked. To answer the question, Mario grabbed the simplest tools of a chemist, a pencil and paper. He jotted down the ingredients that could be released if radiation broke down CFCs. Carbon called C, fluorine called F, chlorine called Ci. Then he wrote down what would happen if those ingredients reacted with the oxygen called O and O3. Mario discovered something scary. Chlorine floating around, freed by radiation, would break up ozone. Why is there a problem with there being a hole in the ozone layer? Bent over his chemical equations, Mario felt a huge weight pressing on him. The problem was even worse. After the chlorine destroyed ozone, the chlorine survived. It could float around and destroy more and more ozone. Just one atom of chlorine could knock out tens of thousands of molecules of ozone. Without ozone, deadly solar radiation would bombard Earth, killing all planet and animal life. Mario hurried to Sherry's office. We have a problem, a serious problem, and we have to do something. Floating oxygen frees chlorine again. Freed chlorine moves on to destroy more ozone. Mario and Sherry faced a sea of TV and newspaper reporters. CFCs used in millions of products are destroying our ozone layer. They said they tried to explain the chemistry behind it, but only a few news reporters followed, and none captured the magnitude of the crisis. Mario tried again. He told Congress that CFCs were destroying the ozone layer. Still no one took action. No one seemed to understand how serious the problem was. Mario was aghast. People believed it was just impossible. that humankind could endanger the entire planet. The planet was big enough, it would just take care of itself, he says. But I knew this was true. Wow, he was trying to warn everybody about the ozone breaking up, and nobody is listening to him. A load of rubbish. It's a science fiction tale. For more than 10 years, Mario continued to study the problem and warn people about the danger. If we keep using CFCs, he said, huge chunks of the ozone layer will thin or disappear, skin cancer and eye disease could surge, crops could fail, it could be a catastrophe. Chemical companies, newspapers, even other scientists said horrible things about Mario. Someone even accused him of being a spy trying to cause chaos in America. But why in the world would I make this up? Mario thought. I'm a scientist. He never gave up. Utter nonsense. Then a British scientist took some measurements of the ozone in the atmosphere. He found something strange. There seemed to be a huge hole in the ozone over the Arctic. A hole the size of the United States. People wondered how that could happen. How could we have so much impact on our atmosphere? And so quickly Mario and Sherry again tried to explain the chemistry. Still, people demanded more proof. Scientists launched an expedition to Antarctica, countering chlorine and ozone from a high-flying airplane. The results were clear and horrifying. Chlorine was definitely destroying the ozone. Finally, people believed the scientists. Something had to be done. But what? Leaders from countries all over the world flocked to Montreal, Canada, to discuss the problem. Mario explained to scientists he pleaded for nations to join together to stop the destruction of the ozone layer. The discussions were so slow and cumbersome, he said. I worry that they might not succeed. Representatives returned to their countries across the globe. Mario returned to his home in the United States and waited for the Earth's first global issue, says Mario. There really was no example of the whole planet taking action on something like this before. I didn't know what would happen. If you were a scientist like Mario and you tried to tell people about the ozone layer breaking up and they didn't want to listen to you, what would you do? And then Mario heard the news. 28 countries, including the United States and Mexico, agreed to stop making CFCs. Soon 46 countries agreed. Then more than 190 countries, nearly every country in the world, agreed to the Montreal Protocol. It was sterling and satisfying and very much a relief, Mario says. For a while, CFCs, already floating around in the air, continued to rise to the ozone layer. But Earth slowly makes ozone all the time. Once the barrage of CFC lands, the ozone layer begin to recover. It is expected to heal completely by 2070 or 2070. Humans had created the first global environmental problem, and they found a way to fix it. Now, when Mario visits his hometown of Mexico City, where pollution clouds his view of snow-capped volcano, he worries about another invisible problem: global warming. The burning of oil, coal, and gas is changing the world's climate at a terrifying pace. But Mario has hoped for our planet. His work on the ozone layer has shown that nations together can solve global problems. We can work with all countries and cultures, all people of the world, he says. We can work together. It is possible. We saved our planet once. We can do it again. These are the wrap-up questions. What do you think you can do to inspire kids like Mario did? How did you like this book? Was it interesting or not interesting? How was your time reading with me? What did you like most about your time with me?